All right, over to the NFL and the Week 1 schedule that was recently released. It begins with the usual defending champions appearance as Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will face the non-champions, the Dak Prescotts and the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hit the road to Vegas to face Derek Carr and the Raiders to conclude the NFL's first week. The remainder of the schedule will be released later tonight, probably around the time we finish up tonight's show, and we will have reaction and analysis on that for you Saturday. But for right now, tell us what stands out to you for Week 1, Drink.
Well, hey, first of all, let me address something in the lead in. Hey, when it comes to Lombardi trophies, I got you. Yeah, hey, the Cowboys they ain't been cutting it since the old the Barry Switzer days. But let me tell you what they do win. The Forbes most valuable team. Hey, they winning a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like Jerry Jones want to be on that list a lot more than holding up that Lombardi. That's just me. But with that said, Week 1, like you said, we got to defend the champs. Thursday night kicking it off. You know what I'm saying? We should get to see them, raise the banner and all that, and get the juices flowing. Whoop the whoop Thursday night football. Brought to you by Amazon Prime. Get you some of that. All that good stuff. But the games that Sunday, because that Sunday is really when you get it popping, fantasy football and all that. And the first game I wanted to get into was the New York Jets and Carolina. The Sam Darnold Bowl. So now we get to paint this picture. So we get to look at the Jets and say, this is what Sam Darnold used to have. This is what Sam Darnold has now. So now we're going to get to see that and say, this is where we want to see if Sam Darnold was a bust or not. Because people want to, hold his time with the Jets against them, but that's very unfair. That is unfair. I can go 32 different ways that team was just not it. It wasn't all Sam Darnold. But now those excuses are out the window with Carolina. You get everything in Carolina that you couldn't get with New York. You got to win, including a better market. And I mean a better market as far as you don't have a market that's just going to chew you up and spit you out before you do anything. They're going to actually let you play. They're going to actually let you prove yourself. And if you do good, they're going to go accordingly. If you do bad, listen, you're the biggest show in town and you're going to get this work. So it is what it is. But the Sam Darnold Bowl, that was the first one for me. And then we go down to Cleveland and Kansas City. You brought this up to me. I like the matchup for another reason, but I forgot it is a rematch from the AFC semifinals, the divisional round last year. But here's why I like that matchup. Listen, we know what Kansas City is. Been one of the top offenses for at least the last 3 years. Been in the last 2 Super Bowls. Been in the last 3 AFC championship games. We know what Kansas City, what they bring to the table. But this might be the year that we actually see Cleveland. That's right, folks, the Cleveland Browns. We might see Cleveland actually make it to the AFC championship and show us something here. It is no reason why. If they do not make it to that spot, it's going to be solely because of Baker Mayfield. That team has been put together just the way you want an NFL team put together for Baker Mayfield. He got to get this team over the hump this year. You filled up the defensive line. You fixed the secondary. Your linebacker core is good. Your offensive line core. We already knew what the wide receiver core looked like. You got the tight ends. You got Hunt, Chubb. Like, what else is needed? I don't know. If you cannot get it done, Baker Mayfield, you're probably out of here. You're done. Look, they exercised the 5th-year option for a reason. You don't get it done this year, we'll see you later, pal. So I'm interested in seeing that because I want to see, can Cleveland make that jump to be competitive? Now, it's only week 1, so they could win in week 1 and don't win again until week 7. Who knows? I don't know. But this game would give us a little more of a, as far as, what Cleveland, it could give us an insight on what we should be able to see out of Cleveland this season. And then one I skipped over was Pittsburgh and Buffalo. We know these two teams have done some work in the offseason. We seen a remarkable run that Pittsburgh was on last year. I think they started like 11-1 or something like that. And then it kind of unraveled for multiple reasons for Pittsburgh. But we seen Buffalo, the rise of the ashes. We see the old Josh Allen, go from hey, this dude might be a bust to MVP consideration. So listen, we see Buffalo on the rise. I finally could probably pick them, and people won't laugh at me and be like, "Yeah, all right, sucker." To win the division, so we know both of them should be somewhere around AFC contention. AFC title contention. If Pittsburgh, they get what they need to get. Listen, we seen what they did in the draft. I think we both can agree that running game was it was an eyesore for the offense last year. I got to think the running game will be a little better this year. And then Buffalo, we just want to see them open up a little more. Get, Josh Allen, if he can get a little more help from his running game, to be perfectly honest with you. And then we know what that offensive line about. We know what that offense about. Defense could use, a few players. But I think I like that. I like that being the first in the first week. Just is another game that marks, the barometer of where teams are at. And then the last one I want to was it Green Bay? No. Chicago and the Rams. I picked the Rams to be in the NFC Championship game solely because I believe in Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford finally got a team that could support his skill set, and he got a run game. He got an offensive line. He got receivers. I mean, my God, when he was in Detroit, the only thing they gave him was Megatron, and then Megatron retired early because he got tired of the crap. I mean, so now he gets a team built around him. He got one of the smartest coaches in the business calling plays. I'm really excited to see what Stafford do with the Rams. And then Chicago, it's a good chance we see. I know I've been hearing the Andy Dalton bull with the Bears, but I think it's a strong chance we can see Justin Fields in game one. I think we could see him out there on the field. So, I'm interested to see what Justin Fields brings to the table, in his rookie campaign and in week one. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Stepping out there in week one is a lot. As Joe Burrow, you could think you good as all you want to, but when you step out there on that field, it's the real deal, folks. Them lights get bright. So, those was my biggest takeaway from the schedule on week one, and we'll see. But I would say this. I am excited that the schedule has dropped because that means football is near. And from what I hear, stadiums are going to open back up for fans. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's get ready for some football.
Yeah, right off the bat, that was a good catch. Jets and Panthers. I got to admit, I see the Jets. I skip over them immediately because for one or two reasons. Number one, they're either playing somebody good and they're going to get blown out. Or number two, they're going to play somebody that's bad and it's going to be unwatchable. So, but, little Sam Darnold, playing his old team, that has some merit to it, So I think that's important for Carolina. It's important for Sam Darnold. I don't think you're in need of a good start. Hopefully, he's getting to work in the offseason. Joe Brady's coaching him up and he gets him going early because you don't want to fall flat in in week one against your old team and have Zach Wilson coming in and wreck your souls. You don't want that. The other thing was, in regards to Dallas, I don't know when's the last time Dallas played on the first game of the season on Thursday. It's got to have been a while, but maybe they say, hey, maybe Jerry said, hey, Roger, can you put us on Thursday night? We forgot what raising a banner, what that's like. Cause we ain't done it in 25, 26 years or whatever it is now, but not all that relevant. I think, there's most of the games that, we're on target with. I think Cleveland, Kansas City is probably the best game of the week. It is a rematch of a playoff game from last year. And you're right. We talked about this already a little bit. Cleveland's got, they look pretty locked and loaded. They may have a weakness somewhere on the defensive side, but offensively, we know they're going to be a physical power run team. They got, they pay Austin Hooper a boatload of money to play tight end. Jarvis Landry, who knows? Maybe we'll get Odell Beckham back to catch a slant pass every now and again. Baker Mayfield's going to have a strong running game. He's got a competent head coach now in Kevin Stefanski, and he's going to have weapons to throw the ball to. So it would appear, as you say, Baker Mayfield's kind of the X factor for him. He plays well. They should be able to, be right back where they was come playoff time last year. I don't think he's going to have to do a lot to get them there. Just, take care of the ball, and that should be enough. But, if they want to really seriously compete with Patrick Mahomes, he's going to have to raise his level of play a little bit because, just being the old game manager probably won't be enough. You're going to have to score a lot of points against Patrick Mahomes, and no one's going to like hang their head if they don't beat Kansas City. But you would like to come out and at least have a good showing and say, oh, we can compete, with the defending AFC champions. The second game I thought was, pretty compelling was that Pittsburgh-Buffalo game, two division winners from last year. Pittsburgh is going to have a lot of competition once again. They'll be battling Cleveland. We know Baltimore is going to be right there with Lamar Jackson. Cincinnati could take another step in the right direction if they can just protect Joe Burrow. And, of course, Buffalo. I don't anticipate the Jets being much to do about anything, but we know New England had a big free agent frenzy that they went on in the offseason. So they're going to be fully stocked and ready for battle. In Miami's in there. Tua Tagovailoa, full off season, healthy, getting Jalen Waddle in there with him. Both the ankles going to be a little wobbly, maybe not. We hope not, because we're going to need them. Miami's going to need them. They're going to need them ready to go. That's another week one, man. That could be a little underrated. Miami and New England, both of those teams trying to, go at Buffalo for that AFC East. Whoever wins that has the early leg up. The last one I thought was compelling was Green Bay and New Orleans. And he said, what are you talking about? One team lost the quarterback to retirement. One team's quarterback don't want to play for him. And that's what I think makes it so compelling. We're looking at Green Bay and New Orleans right now. New Orleans, we think it might be Jameis Winston. Maybe it's Taysom Hill. I don't know if we quite know. But whoever it is, New Orleans still got a really good roster. So, as long as they get a quarterback in there who ain't just – as long as they don't get the Tampa Bay Jameis Winston, they should be able to be a competitive team and I would say maybe have a chance at the wild card. And Green Bay, who knows what's going to happen with this Aaron Rodgers situation. But if things continue to deteriorate, maybe they tried out Jordan Love. I know, we had breaking news from our Jacksonville correspondent today. All Green Bay signed the old dude, Blake Bortles. So, the GM up there he's taking this crisis of Aaron Rodgers really seriously. He's really going out to sign out the big depth signing. So, but those are the ones I'm looking at. I think it's a pretty good week one. There's some, there's a few clunkers in there. I'll tell you one, I'm not excited about Philadelphia and Atlanta. That's a few dead birds out there, them Falcons and Eagles. I ain't going to be, I don't plan on watching that one, but it's a pretty solid week. But as we say, we'll be back Saturday with more thoughts on the full schedule. So stay tuned on that one.